season is upon us. We've got
I need pen and paper.
I
have colored paper.
Week 16. Taking in at the 3. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And finally stopped, but what a return all the way down to the 40.
That kind of kickoff return is something we call a momentum play. So if you're the offensive coordinator and you have a script of plays that you plan to run, you may
I just have this colored paper.
because you may decide to go for some bigger strikes and try and keep the momentum going.
This is the new Madden 23. They made it so lifelike it's not even funny.
After a high-profile trade this offseason that saw him dealt from Seattle.
Brandon, I don't know about you, but when I heard he threw 5 touchdown passes last week, I thought, well, he's going to be the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I didn't need to hear any other stats, and it turned out to be right.
That's exactly right. It seemed like every time we turned around, he was throwing one in the end zone. But he doubled down. He said, I see 5 more in this game. Challenge accepted.
Cal Lynch.
They'll roll him out right. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A great play there. His 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Broncos are on the board first on the road here in L.A. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Extra point from McManus is good, and it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Pulls it in at the 13. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Now here comes the Los Angeles offense and the man in charge of it in his second season with the team, 14th overall in what's been an impressive career, Matthew Stafford.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage. Our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
2nd down, they'll go with Akers again. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing second and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like second and impossible, now has him within throwing range of a 1st down.
They'll try and run for this with Akers, and he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Only 2 yards, and it'll be a punt on their opening possession. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
Nearly a huge return, as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. So the Broncos come back out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position #1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. The Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Our game here, the second of 3 on this fine Christmas day. Coming up later tonight, the Bucs and Cardinals from Glendale. And then remember, as if your spouse hasn't chided you enough already, more football coming your way tomorrow night. Chargers and Colts on the 26th from Indianapolis. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down. He finds his way into the secondary again on this drive. They might want to try getting him down a little closer to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, what do they call that? Third level run. First level being the D-line and linebacker. Second level in the secondary, the third. When you block it up well and you make the secondary do all the tackling, that will wear on a defense.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. A great effort there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Broncos lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced to punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Pulls it in at the 13. And he'll be out of bounds here just past the 20-yard line. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their second drive of the game. As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 4 catches, 66 yards.
And he was able to get open there, but that's not always easy against this bunch defensively.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really
just turned off my light.
They really are, and I'm wondering.
You just turned off my light. You did.
Someone to help this.
Well, somebody did.
He got him once again. Tack McKinley. He continues to reach.
No, the other light in the room, the overhead light.
Sack number 16 on the year.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that
That's
he's
the
been
switch.
on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. 35 yards that time on the punt, and it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Denver's offense now set to go. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson flushed out right. across the 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Here's Wilson to throw. He'll get that complete to Albert O. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
2nd and 6 from the 10. Here's Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll make the block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. On 3rd down, Wilson. This one swung out to Williams. And the Broncos are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
That was just a good example of taking what the defense gave him. No one open downfield, knew where his safety valve was, swung it out to him. He gets upfield and picks up the 1st down. Well done all the way around.
To throw again is Wilson. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Broncos have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Well, just a sensational start for this offense, Charles. 3 drives, 3 passing touchdowns.
Is that like mentioning a perfect game in baseball? Or are we cool to do it here in football, partner?
No, I think you can do it here in football. I think perfect game in baseball, that's its own category.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Could not imagine a worse start for that secondary. Well, let's face it, a better one for this offense. No chance they stop passing now the way that it's going. I think they'll continue to press the ball downfield and hopefully reap the same results.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Taken from about the 12. And he returns this to the 22. As the Rams offense comes back out, here is the NFC playoff picture coming into the weekend. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their own 22. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession, but I think this
that's into a crowd and intercepted. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick 6.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Pulls it in at the 13. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Stafford here, coming off his pick six. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Randy Gregory from that outside linebacker spot gets in there. It's a loss of 9.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began, thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he coughs up the football near his own goal line. And this will be scooped up in the end zone. The defender gets there, and it's a touchdown. Well, Charles, I mean, things just seem to be getting worse and worse for one sideline. Or to flip it over after that fumble return for a touchdown, better and better on the opposite end. What an impressive first-half performance.
And, partner, I know the saying in the NFL goes that no lead is safe. But I will say that this one seems pretty secure. And if we continue to see plays like that, I'm going to switch back and say this lead is safe.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Pulls it in at the 13. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Stafford. Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Off the fake to Akers, here's Stafford on the move to his left. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. So now Stafford and the Rams, after the sack, they're staring up at a 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Randy Gregory. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack as a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Great blocking, nearly sprung in there. 28-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So, to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
So that a good outcome for Sean McVay as the challenge is successful. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far. But on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They go play action with Wilson. He's got a man wide open, complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Broncos are able to add on to their first half lead. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
McManus now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Pulls it in at the 13. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. L.A. set to take over again on offense. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Stafford. That'll be caught by Kupp. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. On 1st down, it's Stafford. Gets this into the hands of the tight end, Higbee. And now they're in the hurry-up. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. From the gun, here's Stafford. His throw incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
And that will be incomplete. Riley Dixon now to punt it away. He'll return it from the 6. A good return there, 17 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Broncos going to go on offense now late in this first half. And with a huge lead already, they may be thinking, hey, our job's complete for these first 2 quarters. Let's get this to the locker room. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. He's going to look deep down the field. A leap, and he's got it. He got it. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Play action. Now Wilson. Wide open receiver complete. Touchdown Broncos. A great play there. 31 yards. And the Broncos will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
McManus's point after is good, and the route is on here in this first half. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Taken from about the 12. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Rams about to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. To throw again on second down, Stafford. So they say we'll let that completed pass stand, and we'll bring up third down instead as they decline it.
So they're comfortable with the yardage. The big thing to them is what you pointed out, getting it to third down and making a play there.
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9. So we've reached halftime here on Christmas Day. All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early. The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. Pulls it in at the 13. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Rams offense ready to begin quarter number 3. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big. You're being shut out. Let's see. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold onto the football while being jostled?
Give him 6 on the run. It'll be third down now with still a long way to go to get to the first down marker. Throwing is Stafford. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Take it at the 37. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And they will take over first and 10. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah.
They're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception's really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. On 2nd and 9, Stafford. Throw left side, complete to Cup. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. Stafford to his #1 guy Cup for Los Angeles first. Play action. Stafford. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Stafford. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Draymond Jones picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
That's his 2nd sack of the game. The best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
So the Broncos coming out now.
The last drive for this offense, Charles, you remember it ended in one play, that quick interception, but they do still have the lead as they start this drive here.
And that's something to focus on for them as well, because it's not quite no harm, no foul, but the interception, hey, shake it off, move on. Hasn't cost your team the lead, and now
and a nice spin into some open field. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there. 69 yards. And the Broncos are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And that, boys and girls, is an NFL record 6th touchdown reception. The record has stood since 1950. What a game.
How about that? Because so many things have to go right in order for it to happen. Not just him catching the passes. Someone delivering it accurately. Offensive line giving them time to throw the ball. A true team record. But he stands above it because he was on the receiving end of so many great plays.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Taken from about the 12. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as these guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Now the Rams offense, they work their way back on the field.
Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this?
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football.
This defense, Charles, coming up with another interception. They have really done an excellent job of locking up these receivers.
Yeah, they're really on fire. They are actually doing what they talk about all the time, which is plastering to receivers when they're in their zones. They didn't give up a touchdown the first half. Haven't done so here in this half either. Blanketed the field, going all the way back to the opening drive, and they come up with a pick right there.
And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands, but could not hang on. Play action. It's Wilson. And, oh, what a catch at the 2. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Javonte Williams punching it in from a yard away. And the Broncos take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. So the moment is finally at hand. What a season, CD. His 29th rushing touchdown of the year. No one in the history of the NFL has had more in a single season. And congratulations to him. What an achievement.
We certainly had the feeling early in the year, maybe week 2 or 3, where we talked to each other and thought this could really turn into something. But I don't know if either of us thought we'd get to this point. Maybe the best season ever by a running back in NFL history.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Taken from about the 12. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Here's a run with Akers on 2nd down. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the 3rd quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they've got this game well in hand. Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Stafford going to give this to Akers, and he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the 3rd quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback, because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him.
To throw is Stafford. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Taking it about the 16. A good head-down running on the return. Gets about 15 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Denver getting set to take the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food, because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They go play action now. Wilson. That is caught right at the 10-yard line.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
Wilson. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey.
And the Rams force the turnover. They'll take over at the 10.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
After the interception, here's Stafford.
And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now it's Stafford.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense can very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
That gets them 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you're 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown.
Javonte Williams
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Broncos stretch this 4th quarter lead even further, and they are closing in on win number 12 of the season. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Taken from about the 12. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession.
Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down. Now Stafford. And that's incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. Stafford. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Takk McKinley able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
3rd and long. It's Stafford. And he's going to go down again. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play.
Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside.
Here's Riley Dixon now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Taking on the midfield logo. A solid stiff arm. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A give to Williams, running right. And he's got room. And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
But, Charles, in this win, they've really just had one speed, and that's been all out. They're still driving the ball downfield despite the circumstances and the big lead, and they just continue to find ways to get into the end zone with ease.
They're certainly in that zone where almost everything they try is successful and often leads to points. Teams don't get those types of games very often, so when they do, many of them just want to take advantage of it to the last second.
Extra point from McManus is good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Pulls it in at the 13. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
The Rams offense now making their way out to take over.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
Stafford on 1st down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Justin Simmons.
And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. They run it again with Williams. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
163 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll run it with Williams. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his.
Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
Now McManus to tack on the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays.
And it was capped off by a Javonte Williams touchdown.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Taken from about the 12. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. And the LA offense ready for this next possession. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, Both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off season, but on game day, you both want to show your best, and I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Denver, the wins keep coming as this one moves up.
Brooklyn, go see Chirac, Southside, C12, 911, grrr to the Riasi, we still outside. Bond on the riches, hard in the trenches. You can't throw dirt on the underground, we thrive in it. Ghana boys stocks on the rise, Charlie, this flex know they ready. See, we were not to ride nobody with, we're the ones who started with it. Translation, Yani had to buy, Yani again hits. This goes so hard, even the ops go with it, That's how you know we lit. Grrr.
From the dust, big drop chili. Where's the love in the streets? Pour my heart on the beat. See that blood on my sheets. Yeah, when we ready, me hit it heavy. I zoom out the pride of my people already. Them I see Ellie. Me, I'm just sharing my journey. I'm thankful that people they hear me. Tribe of Joseph, I'm ahead of the bunch. P5, I was having for months. And running cuts here, what's on my pockets? Me, my DNA. Baby, fall like coffee, call me a trap, call me DC. Me and them no get the same. Me and them no get the same. Boy, that they gonna know the name is. They say I move like I'm nameless. Cause I only got for the money bags and I don't really wanna be famous. You know what's up? You know what's up? Living a lie, you know the game. You know what's up? We going crazy, we at the top and we never gonna stop. Hop in the ghost, I'ma get swayzy. I just got off with a jet and I cry. I win in a Humvee a lot. I be on go cause I come from the shot. I'm shooting back, I ain't ducking no shots. Got power like Samson, I cut off the locks. Chirac, Tema, in the cut like I'm Fredo Santana. Ushu Banton, I hop in the Bama, the world is mine. I'm Tony Montana, I'm Pelican Fly. Diamonds on me cause I'm rapping a rock. I'ma go hard, I ain't killing them soft. I'm up in the hills, I feel like I'm Lauren, you ready or not? I like who got businesses, I'm CEO of mine. 1980, Prezi Rolly, we been working overtime. The witness, the police, the pigs, I don't eat swine. Son of Jacob, this biblical, my flow, the holy God. Save money ground up in the gutter where they found us. Stones in the faint mouth rush. More vacays, more bucks, more race, more porn trucks, more on a tour bus, more poor cup. Toast to the winners, throw it up.
What a drums there.
I come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger.